Guys, welcome back to another episode of Modern Skyblock 3 with me. I am Haley and I have been super busy in between episodes. Like, oh my god, I've been so busy. Alright, let's jump in and talk about what we've done. Matter of fact, I have to resort to my spreadsheet because I don't want to miss anything. I've done quite a bit of stuff. So starting with the blood altar, I have set it up all the way up to tier 3. We got tier 1 is the altar itself, tier 2 is this ring around here, and tier 3 is the ring around here topped off with glowstone. So I've got the tier 3 altar set up, and I've also set up a little automation here to generate the runes. I've got chests going on this side, so I put in basically stones over here, and I've got a transfer node that pulls out going into a transfer filter where you can actually tell it to only pull one single item at a time. So that's actually very helpful. You can go for a single stack to unlimited for a full item. Now it goes into the blood altar, and right now there's only the blood in there. We'll talk about that. But once it gets to whatever I set up on this other filter, I've got a filter set up here. Right now is pulling out the reinforced one, the tier 2 stone. I can put, if I wanted to, pull out once it reaches tier 3, whatever stone I want it to, I set it in. Otherwise, it stays in the altar until it reaches the tier, and then it goes into this chest here. So I've got blank slates and reinforced slates and imbued slates. So that's just basically automated. All you have to do is make sure you have enough blood in the altar. Now, underneath here, I'm gonna fall for a second. I've got a demonically gargantuan drum, the biggest drum that they have outside of the creative one. And what I've been doing in between is actually pricking myself and having this set up to pull out blood, so I will have a continuous amount of blood. Now this is kind of a backup process until we get the Well of Suffering. Even after the Well of Suffering, we want all the blood that we can store at this time, because I can set it to actually go into, like, if I can reach it there, I want to touch the, can I get it? I had to break it to get it. But I've got the fluid, gosh, I can't get it. The drum's in the way. Okay, we basically set it to pull or push, and right now I've got it pulling into the drum, going in there, and I can take it off and have it set to push once I get a good amount of blood. And I think I can set to push, like extract and input, so it can go both ways, but I don't want to use up all the blood anyway. I just want to use it as I can. Now, what is this stuff up here, you're asking? It's a very good question. I'm glad you guys asked that. So I kind of was just looking at the quest book. If we go back to the blood quest line, this section here is all evil craft. I may do that in between. It doesn't require us to do anything right now, but I was just going through some things over here, and there was something in here called an incense altar. And basically with the incense altar, it enhances your sacrificial dagger when you're near it, allowing you to use up almost all your hearts at once. But it gives you a bonus over using your dagger a regular way. So basically, if I use my sacrificial dagger instead of click 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 each time until I get down to about half a heart and then have to fill it back up, the dagger, if you're within the region of the altar, it'll use up like all of those hearts down to 10% immediately in one shot. And if you have your altar set up in a specific way, which I'm going to talk about here, it gives you a kind of a blood bonus. So the bonus increases by having certain natural blocks and paths near it. So after using an enhanced dagger, you will get soul fray. So soul fray is what you get if you accidentally kill yourself. So it does give you more blood all at once, but you have a 20-second cooldown before you can use it again. So if you have a good bonus, it's totally worth it. So let's talk about this. So the recipe for the incense altar, really easy to make. It just takes stone, cobblestone, charcoal, and one of your blood orbs. So you make the altar and you immediately get 20%, what is it called? Your divination sigil, if you have it. You get something called tranquility and a bonus. You initially get a 20% bonus when you set it down. But you can increase that bonus by having these paths. So just like the blood altar, the first ring around here is like a tier. So you can go out to tier 1, the next area you can go tier 2, tier 3, and tier 4. Now I had to do a lot of research on this because the book and the quest didn't really give you that much information on it. If you look in here under, let's see, where's the altar? Here it is. There's the recipe for it. And there's a lot of words in here. I read it all. It really didn't give a good detail. Now, I did find a web page that had like a Google document that explained pretty much all of blood magic, but there's a good section on this incense altar, and I'll link that down in the chat so you guys can take a look at it if you want. But it helped me out so much. There's a Google document again. So the first tier that you can use, you want to make a wooden path. So let's look at the recipe for a wooden path. So let's just look at blood altar. Or blood magic. So you have wooden paths. You can choose either a tile-like look or, a tile-like look, which is just the 4 corners. Hopefully you guys can see that. Or the path look. So one that has like the tiny tiles. They both are essentially the same thing. I can take the wooden path, which is basically any kind of wood with your blood orb. And then you can take 4 of those and you can make the tile look if you want. So you can see I've got the little tiny tiles there. It's all about preference. They both do the same thing. So you need 9 on each side. So you make a 3x3. So you need 36 of those to make the first tier. Now, on the corners, you have to have some kind of materials on the corners. And there is a little bit of diminishing returns in this. You can, according to the Google Doc, you can, each type of earth item, since I'm using wooden path, I chose an earth item, can give like 100% or 20% different amounts. You can use grass blocks, you can use farmland, you can use leaves, a lot of stuff. Check out the Google Doc. It explains it better than I can. But I went ahead and used farmland on this. And this first tier will increase your tranquility up to 60%. So that bonus there, right now I'm on 118 because I've gone to tier 2. So the setup that I had here using the farmland here did increase me up to 60%. Going out to the next tier, I use stone brick paths. Now, these have to be, you have to be within a certain range of the incense altar for this to work. So I put it above here, which again, using the well of suffering, you can go above or below. It's best to be above. It's just easier. I tried to do it out there, but it's going to keep expanding, so I just chose above. Now, the wooden path is the first one. The next one's a stone brick path, and it's pretty much the same type of recipe. You use stone against your blood orb, and if you want to make the stone tiled path, you take 4 of those. Now, there also is a worn stone path, which I think that may be the next tier out, and then the obsidian brick path is a tier out from that. So it goes out to 4 tiers to increase the amount of tranquility. And now tranquility, and then, okay, I'm sorry, I'm thinking too far ahead. It's hard to explain this again, guys. Check out the Google Docs, but this really helped. Since I kind of maxed out on my farmland, again, it's like diminishing returns, I chose to use leaves on this next one, and I'm kind of maxed out here because I didn't reach the full 120% is what I should have gotten. So I probably need to take out and do some more mixing and matching in order to get that 120%. You just kind of have to play around with it to see what you're going to get, but you want to have a good variety of these corner materials. But I got up to 118, which was perfectly fine for me. Now with this setup, I also started making these different runes. I made speed runes, which help increase whatever's transforming in your blood altar and makes it transform faster. So initially it's like it absorbs 10 LP. I'm throwing out a number there, I'm not exactly sure. But with the speed runes out here, it absorbs like 100 LP. Again, throwing out numbers. But it absorbs faster. So like I was making the magician's orb, and I needed it to absorb, let's see, 25,000 LP. So I wanted to absorb really, really fast. So the speed rooms, and there is a percentage. I think each one of these increases about 20%. So I've got to increase by 5 of these. So it's 20% on top of another 20%. So it's exponential. So it's not 20% to do 100%. You can keep doing 20% on top of your 20% on top of your 20%. Do the math. You guys know that. In addition to the speed runes, I also made, let me look at the other runes here. I made the rune of capacity. So the altar actually holds more. Initially, the altar holds, does it tell me a number here? Yeah, initially the altar will hold 10,000, but with the capacity runes I've put on there, I can now hold 24,000. And I think this increases, each one of these runes increases by 10%. Again, so it's 10% on top of 10% on top of 10%. So I've got runes here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of the capacity runes in order to get it to reach a level of 24,000. The last rune I went ahead and made was the rune of self-sacrifice. So the runes of self-sacrifice, they help you actually, I guess, bleed more when you prick your finger. So, you know, when you prick your finger, you get about 100 LP. With the runes of self-sacrifice, you actually get more blood. I got slime center. You actually get more blood every time you prick your finger. So that's kind of a good a good way to get more blood into the system. So in addition to the runes of self-sacrifice and the incense altar, if I prick my finger now, see my dagger is kind of lit up here. That's because I'm close enough to the altar. Normally it's not lit up, so you can see it kind of glowy there, which means that when I prick my finger, that is going to be active. So let's go ahead and see how much we actually get. Let's put this really close to it. So if I prick my finger in one shot, you can see that this got almost 12,000 blood in that one shot. And I now have soul fray, at least for the next 10 seconds, so 20 seconds, which means that I can't do this again to get that same buff until that soul fray is gone. Now, I have all these beacons around here that's giving me regen and saturation, so I probably don't need all this. I probably sit here and prick my finger and get more, but this just seems to like just dump it all in one shot. So I mean, it looks like I'm ready again, and you can tell you have the soul fray on because when I prick my finger, see those white swirlies around me? When those white swirlies are on, that means that I have soul fray. Now, if I were to prick my finger again, I just basically wouldn't get that same buff. See, now I got 17,000 in there just from doing that. So I can easily fill this up. Now, the next type of rune I'm probably going to get is a rune of displacement, which is going to empty out the altar much faster. But I'm kind of need to be able to do the tier 4, which is what we're going to kind of get into today. So I hope you guys understood that about the incense altar. Again, go down to the Google Doc. It's a really good guide for blood magic. It's got pictures and everything, but I found it very helpful. And I never used the incense altar, so that was really cool. Now, I also went ahead and made an alchemy table because it was one of the quests. So I was looking in the quest, and I knew I needed to get to blood shards because blood shards are what I need for the tier 4. On top of these pillars here, I need to have blood bricks, which are for the blood shards. And I couldn't remember exactly how to get the blood shards. So the quest that wasn't open yet, it required me to open up Tartaric gems and the alchemy table. So I went ahead and did that. I've never used the alchemy table before, so it's going to be kind of interesting to see if we need to. If we read the quest about the alchemy table, use this LP from your blood network to create certain items. So it looks like it has a little GUI, and it's got these little blocks here, so we're going to learn about it. The other item I went ahead and made was the Tartaric gem and the sentient sword. What the sentient sword does, it's a natural sword. Here it is. It allows you to, when you kill mobs, you will now get more of those demonic wills, which is what you needed to get started. But what's most importantly, you need a demonic will to get a petty Tartaric gem, which is your first Tartaric gem. There are different levels of the Tartaric gems. I hate saying that word. And each one holds more will. Now, the way you fill up the will, so you see here the will quality is 0. Where's the one I have? I think it's over there. The different levels. So the first one will hold up to 64. You can see this is a petty Tartaric gem with the bar here filled, so it's full. The second one holds 256, so on 1,000, 4,000, so on and so on. But I just wanted to do that to open up the quest to learn about blood shards, because that's what I need for the tier 4 altar. I know I've been talking a lot, guys, this entire episode, but I did so much in between just to get here so I can get the tier 4 altar, because we need the tier 4 altar to make this rune. Let's go back real quick and look at the quest book. We're trying to finish up, not this quest, we're trying to finish up this sigil of compression quest, which we need to complete in a tier 4 altar. Where was it at? Sigil of compression. There it is. Is it deactivated? I don't know. It requires a demonic slate, which comes from the tier. Demonic slate basically take the slates and just keep going through them, and it requires a tier 4 altar in order for that to work. The other thing that it requires are the compression reagents, which is easily made in the Hellfire Forge, but you need some kind of will in there. It doesn't. The will quality is 0 there, so it doesn't require that much to actually do it. Just a block of iron, block of gold, obsidian, and cobblestone. So we should be able to make that fairly quickly once we get to tier 4. Now, let's go back to the quest book and back here to blood and see what it says about, where'd it go? Using blood. About the blood shards. So I'm going to need a binding reagent, a bound blade in order to do this. So the binding reagent is using the alchemy circle. It's going to turn diamond tools into bound ones. It seems really easy. So if I look at the recipe for the bound blade, there's all these bound tools in here. This pack has a really easy recipe for it. I just need to make it in the alchemy thing. So I am going to need a binding reagent, and then I'm going to need a sword. So remember, we're going to put the circle on the ground. So we're going to go ahead and put a circle on the ground here. And then that binding reagent, which is one we just talked about. Didn't think I actually needed it so soon. Make sure I got the right one. Oh, it's a different one. This binding reagent is going to be made in the Hellfire Forge. It requires no will, so this is good. I don't need to have a bunch of will in there. I need glowstone, redstone, gunpowder, and a gold nugget. Did I already make this? Oh, I thought it sounds familiar. I think they're all starting to run together now. Let's go ahead over here. Let's see. Let's put that up. Glowstone. Oops, spell glowstone correctly. Redstone, gunpowder, and a gold nugget. There we go. And we're going to put this over in the Hellfire Forge. And I think did I hear a zombie? Oh, I heard that egg going there. I started hearing noises. All right, see, I have my demonic will in there. But if I put all these here, and wait a minute, am I missing something? Oh, I had to put a tartaric gem in there. What did I do with my tartaric gem? Did I put it in the chest over here? Did I use it? I mean, I can make another one. It's not that hard. But obviously I made one, the gem. T-A-R-T. Okay, well, let's make another tartaric gem. Can't believe I forgot that. It's going to be redstone, gold, blue dye, and the glass. I must have used it on there. Redstone, gold, blue dye, otherwise known as lapis, lapis, and glass. So we can do this really quick, guys. Bear with me. We're getting there. I must have used it in one of the recipes. I can't remember. All right, let's put all this up there. So we got redstone, gold, blue dye, that. Okay, so that's going to give us a petty tartaric gem. Okay. There we go. Petty tartaric gem is what you're going to need there. And then we're going to take the gunpowder, the redstone, and the stuff in there. Hang on. Wait. What? Do I need will for this? It's not telling me I need will. Oh, gotta read the recipe. All right, I'm gonna have to fill up my will in order to make this. So this requires a minimum of 400, which means that I am going to have to fill up one of these tartaric gems. So let's look and see which one holds at least 400. The first one only holds 64. The second one holds 256. The third one holds, the common tartaric gems holds 1,000. So we're going to need at least a lesser in order to make this. So we're going to have to kill some mobs. I wonder how we're going to get mobs to kill. All right, let's go ahead and take, oh, I'll put the book in there. Wait a minute. Maybe I had the wrong thing in there. Yeah. All right, so we're going to use our sentient sword to fill up the will in this one. Because where there's a will, there's a way. And I'll tell you what we'll go ahead and do. We'll kill our little, our guys over here. I know our sword's helping out, but I wonder if I also help. Ow! Hey, that hurt. Don't hit me. If I actually get credit for it. So if I look at my gem, it has 0 will right now. Okay, now I killed 1. Oh yeah, so I got 1 will. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to kill so many of these things. And again, I'm not sure if I'm getting full credit because I'm actually assisting in this. Come here. Why are you guys? Oh, ow! That's not cool. I'm gonna have to stand on a block on top of this because I forgot they can actually hit me. But you can see it is filling up here. So what we're going to do in between episodes, we're going to fill up all of our wills to be able to make the binding reagent, because we're going to need that in order. So, well, I made the binding. Well, I'm working on that. We're going to need the binding reagent. So we're going to increase our tartaric gems. We're going to need some will in the Hellfire Forge in order for this to work. So that is the next goal. And then hopefully we'll have our shards to have our tier 4 altar. Yay! I'm so excited. All right, guys, right now I do want to thank you so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this episode and are enjoying the series. I know we're deep into it. We're so far away into this right now. Yeah, I'm loving it. I'm loving it so much. What is going on over here? You guys see that, right? I don't know what's going on. You know what? I'm not going to ask questions. What? What? Wait, what? That is so weird. These are the pedestals from Embers. A cool graphical glitch. Okay, let me keep talking. Now, I got feedback from you guys that said you are okay with me pushing through this quest once I finish these last 3. I mean, obviously the quest is not required anymore. I'm going to do some more searching for the dimlets, and we'll finish with the sigil compression. Then we'll push this quest through, and then we'll have equivalents opened. Or what we need to get on equivalents, which are probably mystical crops. So we're going to get there, guys. Anyway, yeah, so if you have any questions, comments, concerns, tips, tricks, techniques, or just want to say hi, leave that comment down in the comment section, and I'll get back with you as quickly as I can. If you want to hang out with me and any of the other squad members, you can do so by becoming one of our Patrons. It's the beginning of the month. I believe yesterday was the 1st, so it's the best time to become a Patreon. Click on the link. You can learn about all the awesome rewards that we do offer you, such as hanging out with us on our Patreon servers and chit-chatting with us in Discord. So be sure to check it out. Now, if you want a server of your own to play on, be sure to head on over to Host Havoc. Host Havoc is who we use for all of our multiplayer series, as well as those Patreon servers. All right, guys, I've got some work to do. I'm going to do a little bit of grinding over here. But until next time, I'll talk to you later. Bye, guys.